the most controversial movie ever made. Welcome to I Hope You Suffer.
That's an extreme stretch.
Very, very...
No one knows that this movie was made.
Welcome to episode 35 of I Hope You Suffer. My name is Nathan.
I'm Kit.
And this week we watched 2019's Avengers Endgame. Also, Weresquito, Nazi Hunter from 2016. I'd rather talk about Endgame, but...
Same.
So...
If the Weresquito was an Avenger...
Oh, that would have been amazing. Could you imagine if this movie just, all of a sudden it was just, that weird bear creature, and then the Weresquito, and then the Black Widow creature just became a fucking team?
God, if only.
So...
I thought you were going to say, could you imagine if this movie made $1.2 billion or whatever?
In, 3 days?
Yeah.
So... You texted me last night while you were watching this, and you were like, this is real terrible. And I had started watching it and then had to just, stop to get ready for work and stuff. And at that point, I was like, yeah, this is real dumb.
It's a blessing in disguise.
But I, before I actually sat down and watched it today, the full thing, I was, looking into it. And so, this movie's directed and written by Christopher... Mihm, M-I-H-M. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. But not all of, but I think most of his movies are a loosely intertwined set of 1950s style drive-in movies.
Okay.
So, which makes the quality of this make more sense, is it's supposed to be a blood feast type 50s drive-in thing. And I think if you look up the rest of his movies, they're all Attack of the Moon Zombies and shit like that.
Is that a real one?
There was something that was Moon Zombies. Which I think knowing that going into this made it more enjoyable for me. Because I think watching it without the knowledge that this is supposed to be kind of not great quality. Because it's there are some fucking horrible wigs in this movie and terrible accents, and the coffee shop bar diner thing he goes into towards the beginning is literally just a closet.
See, I really liked the 50s vibe. That was actually one thing I really dug about it without knowing it's a series of 1950s style movies. I don't know, man. I didn't dig it. It was real boring.
Definitely have no need to ever watch it again. But I also think I think some of the other ones are on Prime, and I might actually watch some of them. Just I don't know. I'm intrigued at the idea that they're somewhat intertwined to see what that entails. But I don't know. I didn't hate it. It's definitely better than some of the other shit we watched. But it's just a lot of those 50s movies where there are long stretches in this of just people talking that I'm like, oh my god, just something needs to happen.
If nothing else, this movie let me know that there is another film called I Was a Teenage Wereskunk. So we may at least get that out of it.
Which will also be probably terrible.
It looks delightful.
I wonder if that is at all from this director. I'm gonna look up his...
It looks like it was written and directed by Neil McLaughlin.
I don't know. I'm pulling up the director's stuff because his all... God damn it, fucking ads. Um,
And you Google where skunk and you get some weird stuff. So a
so,
lot of deviant art stuff with
oh
dicks.
god, no. Um,
Concerned.
so like, this is some of the movies he's made. The Monster of Phantom Lake, It Came from Another World, Cave Women on Mars, Terror from Beneath the Earth, Attack of the Moon Zombies, The Giant Spider. Like, all of these are very 50s sounding
Yeah.
movies, but they were all made from like 2006 to now.
Why didn't you tell me about Demon with the Atomic
I
Brain?
was just getting there. I want to know what Queen of Snakes is. And like all of the artwork for them and posters, like it's all like I don't know, like he
Yeah.
obviously
Very
knows
drive-in style.
what he's doing when it comes to like these like 50s rip-off things.
Hey, if you dig that, power to you. I apparently do not.
I mean, yeah, I don't either. Like I appreciate like a
Yeah.
lot of them, but like at the same time I don't need to watch them more than once.
I really appreciate that they're only like 70 minutes.
I feel like this movie, like there is a incredible like current movie with this title to be made of just some weird mosquito man just curb stomping Nazis.
I I just wanted like one or two intense Weresquito rampages where he just like is gunning down Nazis,
Yeah.
you know?
Like I really like just based on the title, I assumed this was going to take place like during World War II.
Yeah, same.
Um I mean I will say I do like I thought the Weresquito like costume, like effect or whatever, is like cool in that like a real stupid goofy way.
Yes,
Because it's
very much like The Fly.
yeah, it's just like literally a mosquito head like on a dude's body. The Black
And
Widow makeup, on the other hand, is not good.
I guess they're mosquito hands.
Yeah, like I don't know. I
Also,
don't.
mosquitoes have hands.
It's
Call me
also
crazy.
like if you watch the actor, the guy that plays like John Baker or whatever, when he's just walking around, his hands are constantly in that like down and like sprawled out. Like his hands don't move anytime in the movie.
Yeah.
So this movie stars Douglas Sidney as John Baker, and then his counterpart Michael G. Kaiser as the Weresquito, and then Rachel Grubb as Liesel Schmidt, and then James Norgard as Schramm, whose name you hear a bajillion times in this movie.
But like dramatically shouted. Shram!
So I have closed captioning on when I like just all the shit on my TV, and this movie has a bunch of jokes in the closed captioning that
Oh,
like
really?
there's like during one of like the kind of fight scenes, it would be like it would come up with the actions of what was going on. So it was like dodge, revive, recover. Uh-oh, what's gonna happen now? And like shit like that. It was real ridiculous.
Man, I would have liked it so much more if I'd watched it with closed caption.
I think that's just like all of the stuff I had combined made it more enjoyable for me. There's like the scene when he's like in the dude's house and he starts hearing like whatever that weird like bear creature is.
Yeah.
You just it's like ominous like howling, and then like that does that again. It's like more howling, even more howling, more howling, probably from the basement. Like it just like starts like foreshadowing what was happening. It was pretty funny.
Oh, that rules.
So this movie opens on a black screen and kind of a bunch of sounds of like Nazis ransacking a house, and you get like it's this woman hiding in a closet, and then the Weresquito just like busts in, and then you get credits, opening credits, but you like immediately you get a look of what the Weresquito looks like.
Yeah, they wasted no time. They were really proud of that Weresquito.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome in, like, the worst way. It's also, I like that for the rest of the movie, it's, like, this mosquito in, like, a button-up shirt and tie and, like, slacks. After the credits, you get your first of a lot of scenes in, like, a Nazi, like, surgical room, which, like everything else in this movie, is just takes place in, like, a closet.
But it's a closet with like a scalpel.
Yeah, it's a closet with, like, a bunch of, like, weird fucked up surgical utensils hanging on the wall instead of, like, on one of those trays like it should be. So this guy has no qualms about using probably dirty utensils. But you're kind of introduced to Schramm, who is a Nazi doctor that's doing some sort of experiment. At this point, you're not really sure what. This is the first point I marked down, that this is the worst German accent I have ever heard.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
It's literally like,
I couldn't tell if it was intentional or not.
I mean, I'm assuming it is. Because it's literally just like, I'm assuming the guy's talking voice with, like, und and, like, hair thrown in there to make it sound like it's German. It's pretty great.
I can't even, like, try and do a German accent that bad.
And then, like, all of the closed captioning, like, had how he was saying it, like, phonetically.
I wish it had just said, like, indecipherable German.
There's, like, one point, I think, during, like, the opening thing where, like, the house is being, like, ransacked by Nazis. I think there was a thing that was, like, indistinguishable, like, talking or whatever. Even though it is, like, you can, like, you hear all of it, it's just, like, just terrible German. After this scene in the surgical room, you cut to a man waking up in the woods. It is John Baker, our quote-unquote hero. He wakes up, has blood on the side of his mouth, starts walking towards New Berlin. Which, I'm real dumb. I don't know if New Berlin is actually a thing, or if this was something that was, like, took place after the war.
Man, I can't even fucking get home. I don't know anything outside of my immediate area.
Yeah, I can't tell people road names to give them directions in the city I have lived in, like, 20 years. I could just be like, there's a store here, look for that, and then turn right. At this point, I think it's when he shows up at this coffee shop diner, and you see a bunch of really terrible wigs. He shows up and, like, sits in the corner of this closet that is supposed to be a diner. A man sitting at the bar of it, like, mentions, like, oh, like, are you okay? There's, like, some blood on your mouth, and he's just like, don't worry, it's not mine. This dude immediately is like, cool, I gotta go, bye.
I'm much more worried now, sir. What? Like, how is it not yours? What?
John strikes up a conversation with Liesel, who is working at this diner and is, like, looking for this Schramm guy. I wrote down Liesel is flirting hard with Weresquito. Liesel's ex, I'm gonna pronounce this lady's name, like, differently probably every time. Her ex shows up at this coffee shop and demands she quit and marry him.
Normal.
He is a
totally normal thing.
Very stable gentleman. John Baker, like, interrupts and tells this dude to get out of here. This ex starts, like, fucking with John, and he's just like, you won't like me when I'm upset. Totally ripping off the Hulk. He then just beats the shit out of this dude and fucking kicks him out. After this, Liesel invites him to stay in her spare room because she is crazy. John shows up at Liesel's house, and they kind of have a quick back and forth. She's definitely ready to fuck this dude. And then you cut back to like a flashback of the surgery room.
Dun dun.
Where Shram says the word piggy.
Shram.
Says piggy so much in this fucking movie.
Oh my god, it's so weird.
I hate it. But he now has a woman chained up in the corner. And this is when you get, like, the idea that this Weresquito character, his transformation, the thing that triggers it, is the sight of blood. You cut back to Liesel's house, and John is asleep on this bed and hears like a ruckus going on in the living room. Liesel's ex has shown up and is screaming at her and kind of assaulting her. John comes out and is just like, you need to let her go, so he does, throwing her to the ground and smashing her head into the table. John sees the blood on her forehead and transforms into the Weresquito and fucks this dude up. I don't know what he does with the dude's body after he sucks all the blood out of him, but...
Maybe mosquitoes eat the bones afterwards. It's just something that no one's ever witnessed before.
That'd be impressive. The size of, like, a mosquito.
Just, like, suck all of the marrow out and then just eat that bone.
Liesel comes to on the couch, and this scene is incredibly fucking long of them just talking back and forth. Like, I think 60 of the 70 minutes of this movie take place in this scene. Here. At this point, I just kind of blacked out because I have no idea what the fuck any of this dialogue was about.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I blacked out right around here.
I think the next thing I just have is that John leaves to go find his quote-unquote friend. I think he asked something about, like, if she knows somebody named Gruber, and she kind of gives him information about, like, whoever he's looking for, because apparently everybody in New Berlin knows each other. So I feel like just being in Germany,
the town size of a closet.
Being like, do you know a Gruber, would probably result in, like, yeah, there's a lot of them here.
I don't know. The only Gruber I know is Hans.
Yeah, who is also German.
Yeah, but he's the only one.
Well, that you know, you don't live in New Berlin.
That's true. What if New Berlin's just
Texas
filled with Grubers, or Texas? That would have been a twist.
That would have been amazing.
End of Weresquito. Turns out Nazis won the war, and they've just got Weresquitos all throughout.
Every state in the U.S. is just New Berlin, New whatever.
I don't know. New Autobahn. No, it's not a city. It's a city now.
I-75 is just New Autobahn.
Obviously spelled in U with the umlauts.
Yes. So John leaves to go find Gruber. Comes across him, like, cutting wood in his backyard. Starts asking him about Shram. Gruber kind of puts together, like, who this dude is. John, like, grabs his axe and cuts his finger on it to see blood and just Weresquito's up. And fights Gruber, and this is when I first noticed that all the fucking closed captioning was like, duck. Oh, falls down, gets back up. Recovery. Like, it's fucking insane. But, they kind of have a back and forth fight, and Weresquito kills him. You have another flashback to the surgery room, where the Weresquito drinks this woman's blood.
That bastard.
Yeah, he's a dick. You cut back, and John is searching Gruber's house and finds a box full of Nazi shit. And this is where he starts hearing the ominous moans. And he goes and, like, ends up going into the basement and finds like this weird human bear hybrid creature and shoots it, putting it out of its misery. You cut back to John back at Liesel's house, and you get more discussion of Gruber and his brother. You find out that he's looking for a Carl Schmidt, who is Liesel's uncle. He's apparently very lucky he stumbled across this lady at this diner, because she knows fucking everybody he's looking for.
She's the mayor. The mayor of New Berlin.
It's just Mayor Liesel Gruber. She, like, threatens to kick John out because he's asking questions, and, like, I think he, like, starts revealing his back story to her at this point, and that he killed Gruber, and he plans on killing Schmidt and Schramm and whoever else. She eventually, or he gives Liesel Gruber's gun and tells her to kill him if she doesn't believe his story. Obviously, she believes it, because she is very trusting. She gives John the whereabouts of her uncle. If she is willing to tell John where her uncle is at if he tells her what Schramm did to him. Does he actually tell her? I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, all of these scenes.
He should have just showed her.
Yeah.
Just, like, stabbed himself in the hand, like, and become the Weresquito.
I think he, like, can't control himself at that point, and then we'll just, like, would have killed her, I guess, based on what I can tell of his transformation.
I mean, that still would have been pretty sweet in the movie.
I mean, yeah, I agree. It would have been better if he just, like, went around and just fucking ate everybody. Bones and
yes. All. Bones and all.
All of the scenes of them just in the house talking, I just lost all interest in the movie at.
Yes. Because it's not made interesting at all.
No,
and I mean, it's just two very cardboard people standing there, just, it's delivering lines at each other.
It's very in the style of, like, 50s movies, but it's still extremely boring. So John shows up at Schmidt's house and immediately has a gun put to the back of his head by Schmidt's bodyguard or something. I forget what his name was. They have a quick back and forth, and Schmidt is pistol whipped and knocked out. John comes to, tied up, and is interrogated by Schmidt with a bunch of more dialogue I don't remember because it's just dumb and boring. Schmidt.
This movie would have been so much better if at least 50% of the dialogue was someone just, like, ominously saying "Weresquito," like,
instead of the word Schramm and Piggy taking 70% of the dialogue.
Schramm. Schramm makes me think of Tim and Eric's $1 Million Movie whenever there's the shrimp scene.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I think about, and that probably did not help.
I just think that it's, like, the name of a company that makes, like, canned meat.
What if this was, like, Big Meat's failed experiment? For some reason, they're trying to make Weresquitos.
The first version of canned meat they made turned somebody into a weird mosquito-human hybrid.
That craves bones.
Like, the Nazis were really trying to, like, corner the market on canned meat during the war. That's what they were testing on him.
I really like our concept for Weresquito much better.
I agree. And then he just goes crazy and just fucking, like, wakes up in this bunker, like, 60 years later and starts going after the new breed of Nazis. That'd have been amazing.
Absolutely. Let's petition Disney to give us, like, $1 billion. They've got plenty of money.
Like, you don't have Captain America anymore, so we're going to create your new superhero that fights Nazis.
Just give us the tiniest little chunk of that Robert Downey Jr.'s like savings you've got now.
Yeah, no
Because
shit.
you're not paying him.
Not paying him $40 million to stand inside of a fucking black room and pretend he's got a helmet on.
We could have a movie that is teeming with Weresquitos taking on Big Meat.
For like $3 million.
And be like, remember the Meat Wars? The Meat Wars.
The Meat Wars of 2021. So John is tied up and being kind of interrogated by Schmidt. His bodyguard dude or brother or fucking whoever this dude was is just slapping the shit out of him. John is just like, you probably shouldn't be doing that, but I hope you do because I'm gonna fucking kill you if you make me see blood, which happens, and he does. Get another flashback to the surgery room of Schramm explaining the experiment to John, which at this, like, obviously you put together pretty quickly this is John, but they never really say that's who it is.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it is. It's just a lot more fucking nonsense dialogue and this actor just fucking chewing the scenery all over the place.
Literally not saying Weresquito.
Yeah. I don't think anyone in this movie ever says Weresquito.
Disappointing.
That they just say Piggy a lot. Which this would have been much better if he would have just been a werepig. It would have made more sense. Liesel shows up and explains that Schramm is her father.
Dun dun.
And John... Okay, so yeah, I was trying to fucking figure out, like, after they cut back from this flashback in the surgery room, John has tracked down Schramm and has got like a gun pointed at him, and Liesel shows up and is like, he's my father, and John's just like, what? But I'm in love with you. Even though we've known each other for like 2 days. John is like threatening to shoot Schramm, and Liesel is begging him to stop. John points the gun at Liesel and tells Schramm to tell her to leave or he'll shoot her. So Schramm finally is just like, okay, like, you know, Liesel leave. And then they have this quick back and forth before Liesel smashes John in the back of the head with a rolling pin. Very I Love Lucy style. John comes to, like, chained up in the basement. Because he's just not having a very good day.
Clearly not.
He's just constantly being tied up. Schramm, this is just like this. At this point, you're at like the final scene of Schramm essentially explaining everything, a James Bond villain style, to John.
I would totally watch a Nickelodeon sitcom called Schramm Explains It All.
100%, except he's got to constantly use this horrendous German accent he has.
Oh, 100%.
Liesel is down there with him, and she has been drugged. Schramm is kind of explaining that after John, he kept working on these creatures and was able to make a more pinpoint accurate thing that triggers these creatures into transforming. Like, John's is the sight of blood, but he was able to make it like a very specific thing with certain creatures. He pretends like he has Liesel turn away and it acts like he's going to stab her in the back, but instead stabs himself in the hand, which forces John to transform. He has Liesel turn and look at John in the Weresquito form, which is her trigger to transform into a Black Widow like human hybrid that like has poisonous claws and looks stupid as hell.
It's so elaborate.
I know, like
like this completely unnecessary.
Like, he had to have the foresight that this mosquito hybrid person was going to A, live, and B, come after him in the future.
Yeah. And then you're going to be able to capture him and tie him up to a wall.
And have him fall in love with your daughter. And have her be, like, your weapon.
Yeah, it's not a good plan.
It's crazy. They, like, after John transforms into the Weresquito, he kind of breaks free of these chains, and him and Liesel fight in the most nonsensical bullshit fight I've ever seen, where they just essentially just, like, grapple, like wrestling grapple, and then that's it.
Nobody even does a front flip.
No, like
what the hell?
Fucking pile drive somebody.
Yeah, there's a table somewhere in there.
Mean, we saw Tom Lennon DDT a fucking critter in Critters: A New Binge. Like, do something. John starts reasoning with Liesel and being like, I know you're in there, fight this instinct or fucking whatever. She kind of, like, lowers her hands and stands there for a minute and then immediately spits acid in his face. And then Shram starts explaining, like, you know, I put this weird fucking backup thing that if her claws didn't work, she could spit acid. And
yeah,
then,
like all Black Widows are known to do.
Yeah. I think this movie is actually from the 50s and Alien ripped it off. Shram then is trying to convince John to marry Liesel and become a family for reasons. Liesel gets upset at this and that the idea that she is a possession for her dad to give away, and like attacks him as she's like yelling at him that she's not like anyone's property. John comes up behind her and just sucks all the brains out of her head and like all of the blood out of her body. But she's a Black Widow, so her blood is poisonous. So John has just been like lethally poisoned by her blood.
Dun, dun.
Shram is like explaining this to him, and he's just like, now you're gonna die in this basement, blah blah blah. John is just like, yeah, but you're going with me. Like, pushes Shram back against the wall and sucks all his brains out. And
bones.
Yeah. That would have been
I assume.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably what happened when the camera cut away.
It's implied right now by me.
John succumbs to the poison and, like, falls over. And then you get your last flashback of the surgery room of bombs falling on, like, whatever facility they're in. And a soldier coming in and saving John. And then just credits. And that was this pretty dumb movie.
Really, not a lot happens other than dialogue.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like if you're into stuff like the Herschel Gordon Lewis movies of, like, the 50s and 60s, I think you would like this. It's got that very, like, nothing happens 50s horror movie style to it. That,
you know,
it just, even for, like, 70 minutes or whatever, it makes it very long watch.
If you want to watch a good mosquito human hybrid movie, Mansquito.
I knew this was
that's
coming.
The ticket. Any chance I get to plug Mansquito, I'm gonna do it. There's a distinct break in a person's life, and it is pre-Mansquito and post-Mansquito.
I mean, I am
it will change you.
Fully on board for watching that for the podcast because I've never seen it.
Oh man, it's still on Prime. Just saying.
We could do that after House next week.
Do Mansquito and Hammerhead Shark Frenzy.
I still want to do all of the, like, 3-headed shark attack, 4-headed shark attack, 5-headed shark attack.
We absolutely should.
300-headed shark attack.
When's Shark Week? We can do Shark Month.
Oh, I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. I'm in. I'm always in for shark movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend watching this, but it just kind of depends on your taste in horror movies. Like, if you're really into classic 50s, 60s stuff, I think you would enjoy it. If not, like, if you can't stand that shit, like, you're gonna hate it. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely had stuff in it I enjoyed, and then stuff I was just kind of like, this is fucking boring.
If you want to take a nap, I recommend it.
I definitely need to watch Attack of the Moon Zombies, though.
I hope it's not like this where the name gets my hopes up.
Well, I looked through like the customers also watched section.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's a lot of like this dude's movies, because it's all like 50s looking posters, and I think it's just like a combination. It looked like it was a combination of his movies and actual 50s movies. So if some of them are on Prime, I may actually sit down and watch at least Attack of the Moon Zombies, because I'm sure it's real stupid.
What about Vampire Ticks from Outer Space?
Why, is that a thing?
It is.
I will watch that.
An intergalactic shipping company misdelivers a package of deadly little monsters. Those blood-sucking creatures get loose and cause havoc on a small Wisconsin town.
Is that one of his movies?
No, it was directed by Michael Butt.
Then I'm definitely watching it.
Man, there's some quality recommendations under Weresquito.
So, yeah, I especially like the customers also watch thing. If it's all like, it looked like it was pretty much all his stuff, because that's what I was like looking for. I was like, I wonder what else people watch that like watch this movie, but I think it's all his stuff.
I'm looking up to see what Michael Butt has directed.
That is a good call. We're gonna do a whole month of Michael Butt movies.
Butt month.
So I had an idea that I meant to text you about and then just didn't because I was probably asleep. Of like maybe each week being like, well, this, we watch this movie, and like maybe just doing something like, not even necessarily a movie, maybe like a movie or a band or something that we would be like, oh, like this is something like we recommend checking out because we think it's cool.
Yeah.
Which, I don't, obviously I'm just telling you about it now, so I have no idea if you'd have anything you want to like throw out there.
Mansquito.
I'm going to say, just because it leads into, like, I pulled up all this, like, the horror stuff that's coming to streaming sites are, like, now in May.
Oh, yeah.
I am throwing out Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan, because it's fucking great, and you can watch a dude get his head punched off.
Jason's face is so gooey. It's so mushy and gross.
Oh, it's so awesome. I'm also going to say check out the new False song, because it's fucking great.
Yes. Super backed. False rips.
So, in May, coming to Shudder is a bunch of shit I've never heard of. Like The Ranger and The Night Shifter.
Night Shifter sounds like it is terrible based solely on name. I have no other information, but
I'm assuming
it sounds like someone who races cars at midnight and kills people.
Oh, there is a movie that was on Shudder. I don't know if it still is, about a dude that just like drives around and kills people with his car.
The Wraith?
No, it's not the fucking Charlie Sheen movie.
Okay.
It's like it's some horror movie that's like a dude stalking some woman in his car, I think, based on the poster.
Is it the car?
No, I can't remember what it was called. There are four more weeks of The Last Drive-In. So I thought there was only going to be 8 episodes, but they're at least going through 9 according to this.
I think there's 9 or 10.
Apparently Eli Roth is going to have a History of Horror podcast on there, which I'm kind of interested in. Like, Eli Roth, I can't stand his movies, but I actually kind of like listening to him, like, just talk about horror movies. Bad Dreams, Doomsday, Fear, which, if that's the fucking Mark Wahlberg movie, I am all about.
I'm pretty jazzed to watch Doomsday because I'd never seen it, and I've heard that it is a real ridiculous film by Neil Marshall, who did Dog Soldiers and
Neil Marshall. God damn it, Marshall has done like some real good shit. Like
yes,
The Descent.
And also Hellboy. R.I.P.
Did you see Hellboy?
I didn't, but I have just seen it get trashed by everyone.
It did not look good to me. I'll watch it if it comes to streaming or if I find it used or whatever, because I like Hellboy in general, but I was not into anything I saw from it.
I was thinking about watching it, and then I saw a still image of his weird hairy legs and feet, and I was out.
Shudder is also getting Bloody Birthday, which rules, and then VHS 2 and VHS Viral, which I will back.
Hell yeah.
I like those VHS movies.
Same.
HBO Now, which like 10 people probably have, is getting the greatest movie of all time, Arachnophobia.
Oh shit, yes.
Which I just bought on VHS for $1.
I hate spiders so much, and that movie is the reason why.
It's also getting The Predator, Halloween 2018, Land of the Dead, which I feel like every time we see these things, HBO Now is getting Land of the Dead somehow.
Yeah, it never goes away, but it's always coming to HBO Now.
It's also getting Signs, which is real stupid, but a fun watch.
I like it because I'm an idiot.
It's just like, I don't know. I enjoy it. It's also just, I am fully aware that it is real stupid.
You just gotta learn to swing away.
Yep. Hulu is getting Zombieland, which I hate, but it's also getting Hardware, which rules. And another episode of Into the Dark, which I have not yet watched, but I've heard is really good.
Yeah, I still gotta watch some of those too.
Amazon Prime is getting Suspiria 2018, which I can't wait to fucking finally watch.
You'll have to let me know what you think of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and watch it probably Friday when I'm off work, so whatever the next episode we record, I should be able to be like, oh, this is what I thought. It's getting Friday the 13th, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, and A New Beginning for some reason.
What? No 4?
Yeah,
no final
4
chapter?
or 5.
Don't have the best one?
Or wait,
stupid.
Is 5 A New Beginning?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't remember the fucking subtitles on all of them.
It's also getting Night of the Living Dead 3D, which I've always wanted to watch because I assume it's fucking garbage. But it's got like Sid Haig in it, so I'm kind of interested. And then Night of the Living Dead Resurrection, which I have no idea what that is, but I will watch that too.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is either.
And the greatest movie ever made, The Burbs.
Yes.
The Burbs is fucking amazing.
Incredible.
And Netflix is getting Gremlins, Scream, Zombieland, Insidious, and Slasher Solstice, which I don't know what it is, but I've seen people kind of posting about it on Instagram.
I don't believe that. It's fake, and Netflix is playing us.
Probably. I am currently not even subscribed to Netflix, so I'm also not going to watch that.
A smart decision, I think.
I feel like I'm just gonna borrow somebody's Netflix whenever BoJack comes back, and that's it. Because that's pretty like I would go like months without even opening the app. So until something, I already like once they got rid of the Marvel shows, I was like, meh, I'm good. I'll come back for BoJack, and that's it. I haven't like paid attention to any news except for the fucking Child's Play Toy Story poster.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Which is awesome. And I've been in fucking Avengers mode all week.
Yeah, I haven't kept up with any horror stuff really.
I like
I don't think there's really been much news.
Yeah, I don't think so. At least I mean, like I follow a bunch of sites, and it's just a lot of the stuff I've seen has been kind of like editorial articles or like reviews and shit. Nothing like super exciting.
There is a new Critters trailer for a new Critters film coming out this year.
Oh, the sci-fi one?
Yes.
Is it good?
It looks like hot trash, but I'm in.
God, I hope they don't fuck up Killer Clowns. That's like all like. I feel like Critters, you could get away with it just being trash and it still being good. Like Killer Clowns has to have that like specific aesthetic to make it good, and I just feel like sci-fi's gonna fuck it up. So next week we're watching House, which I believe is still on Prime in the US.
Not the TV show.
Yeah, we're gonna watch all of these seasons of House and
every season of House in the next week.
Break it down in a fucking 46-hour episode.
Fuck that.
Comedy Bang Bang is doing a 10th anniversary episode that is 10 hours long.
Oh my god.
I think I'm gonna spend an entire shift at work listening to one night. Yeah, so watch House, because House fucking rules. And then probably Weresquito the week after that, because fucking why not?
Yeah. We're here for all of your mosquito needs.
Yeah, this is the mosquito horror movie podcast now.
It's summertime, so you need to get ready for them.
You can follow us on Twitter at I Hope You Suffer, Facebook at I Hope You Suffer Pod, Instagram at I Hope You Suffer Podcast. Listen to the new False song, because it's fucking super good. Alright, that's it. I hope you suffer, but why?